Good afternoon, my Lipshans. It's that time of the week again. It's bonus going time. And this week, we're doing the best budget gaming PC you could have to buy for 1080p gaming. We're even going to make some suggestions, monitors and stuff. Because I noticed we haven't done this in like 5 months. And I said I was going to probably whack it every 3. And seeing as we just did what you want for a streaming setup, I thought not a lot of us are going to be streaming. A lot of the people that are looking to buy gaming PCs are looking to do just that and play some games. So I'm going to give you some good, I would say, foundational device for an upgrade kit, a case, power supply, GPU, and like I said, some monitors for you to consider depending on what your requirement is going to be. If you're just looking for some good casual gaming, or if you're a bit more serious and you're going to look for esports, entry-level esports gaming type of setup, then this is going to be right up your alley. Starting off with the upgrade kit, it's going to be the Ryzen 5 5500 once again. 6 cores, 12 threads is just going to be super hard to beat. These things also, you can literally cool it with like or next to nothing, and it's going to give you top line performance. There is a 12100F, but it's like an extra 1,000 Rand on this, and so with that spare money, we're actually rather going to get 32 gigs of RAM, because then we're going to get dual channel performance, which is just going to be better. It's like a 15% performance increase from going from 1 to 2 DIMMs, so you're definitely going to want to have that. And then 32 gig RAM is actually quite a lot. You'd be able to, for instance, in the future, maybe grab yourself a second and 5700X or 5800X, which would be quite a performance bump on this. But that 5700X 3D is looming. It is going to be coming in the future, and then that's going to be the best bang for buck gaming CPU around. So as a base platform, this should be compatible. It's got a B450 MA, which is a very entry-level motherboard. I mean, it's not got anything over the top going on over here, but it's got space for M.2, which is going to be our storage choice over there. It's got 2 DIMMs, so we'll fill that up. It's got enough power phasing that you can run this chip absolutely no problems, and pretty much anything under 80, say to 100 watts maximum, is going to be the maximum output for this. So it would even be able to use a 5700X or that new X3D. Moving on to GPU, it's going to be the RX 7600. It's still our bang for buck amp, honestly, as far as things go. If you want to do some streaming, look at the 3060 12 gig, because that is available at the same price. But with just gaming performance is considered, the RX 7600 is still pretty much the best bang for buck solution you're going to find. And I've actually done a review on this, so I'll pop that out over here if you want to see that versus the 4060. It's very, very close, but ultimately on value, the RX 7600 still wins. And this QCK308, which is a bit of a better version of the card, I must say, it's kind of overkill in its cooling setup. You're never going to hear this thing. It's kind of, like I say, just a bit fat boy for how much this core actually produces in heat. This is like seriously overkill. So yeah, it's a very nice card. It's 3-year warranty as well. It just ticks all the right boxes. Then for PSU, we're not going to need anything absolutely over the top. The processor produces or uses a whole 65 to maybe 80 watts worth of power. The motherboard's going to use about 50, your extra components and stuff maybe 30, and then your GPU on top is going to be about 180 watts at most. So you're probably not going to exceed about 350 watts. So 750 watt bronze is going to be more than enough. And the reason you slightly overspec it is just that you don't have to like drive it very hard, so you're not going to get coil one, and it's going to be nice and calm. And also in the future, if you want to upgrade that processor and that GPU, then this is going to be able to handle fatter boys up to about a 300 watt sort of GPU as well in that sort of system. Absolutely no problems. Then for storage, it's nice, quick, and easy. We only have Gen 3 capacity, so looking at Gen 4 drives doesn't really matter. So we're just going for the best bang for buck, which happens to be the Spatium, the Emethyl Spatium. I don't know who came up with that name, but it makes me think of Mark Tyson saying it every time I read it. And this little NVMe and 1 TB is going to give you fantastic performance. I've actually just done a mate's machine with this motherboard and this actual SSD pairing, so I know they work actually quite well together, and it gave me really good performance installing programs and stuff like that. It felt very smooth and very fluid. So yeah, this one was a big thumbs up. Then to house all of it, you know it's going to be a deep cool. I'm still no with deep cool. I still think they make the best bang for buck cases, and this is a keen example into that. The CC560, while it has the blue only on the fans, you are getting 3 full up front and a 120 at the back. Decent quality for 900 bucks. like untouchable glass side panel, basically everything you want for 900 Rand that you could possibly hope for, and that's going to give you really good airflow to keep that GPU, like I said, cool, calm and collected, and the CPU doesn't really produce too much heat. So 3 in with the 1 out the back. You honestly wouldn't even really need to upgrade this and put in extra fans, but in the future, if you want to, it's got a 240mm space up top for doing a little radiator action, and it is a little bit longer than the competitors as well. So it just will fit. By longer, I mean at this distance over here, it's just going to be able to fit in more GPU than the other competing brands. Moving on to monitors, the first suggestion I'm going to make is this Cooler Master 2200 Rand for a VA 100 hertz panel is just hilarious. With adaptive sync as well, it's only got HDMI and VGA, but you'll be able to adaptive sync with the GPU, absolutely no problems. As you can see over there, that's the input, but it's also got some audio pass through, so you can run your 3.5mm from it. It's nice. As an entry-level monitor, it's almost impossible to beat this, to be very honest with you. And yeah, you are going to get a bit of smear from the VA, but as a 2,200 Rand proposition, it's very, very cheap indeed. Another one that you could look at, which might be a little bit past what your system will be able to do in general, is this 2K VA from Cooler Master. It's the same kind of idea, just obviously much more in price, 3,499. And I would say it's going to be more for the casual gamer of these two. They're not really for like esports or something like that, but it's FreeSync Premium and it's 100 hertz and it's 2K, and at that price point it just gives you like a lot of resolution and spec. And this is quite a good kind of like future proofing bar, because 2K resolution is being more and more conquered. I mean, if you look at a 7700 XT or like a 4070 like I'm running, they run most games on 2K at over 100 hertz very easily. So yeah, that's going to be realistic. In like 2 to 3 years, your mid-range GPUs are going to already be at that performance level, so it might be better to buy it now for then, in a kind of like a future-proofing sense. And if you're not too worried about ultra competitive sort of modes, then this would be a good option. Another good one to look at is this G3. It's a 1080p, so it's going to be a lot more conquerable for your GPU right now, and it's 165 hertz. And just having done the G5 version of this panel, the only real difference between these two is the curve. So yeah, this is a very, for a VA panel, this is one of the best I've ever tested. It's got FreeSync Premium as well. But if you want to go esports, let's say esports is going to be your thing, then I would say look at the AOC. This is the cheapest IPS that I could find. It's still 4,599, but big pluses with AOC. They have some of the best IPS technology around in monitors right now, which really doesn't hurt. It's got a 3-year zero dead pixel guarantee and a 4-year local warranty on top of that. So it comes with an incredibly good warranty. It's got FreeSync Premium as well, and that 1 millisecond 180 hertz refresh rate. So yeah, for esports competitors and stuff, this is like a really good option. It also has got swivel with this base, so you can get into that esports intimacy position, as I like to call it, where you have your base actually angled like that, so that your keyboard can get right underneath a monitor and you can sit over the top of it like that. So this is a bit more of a competitive style, and the PC for competitive games, for games like Counter-Strike and Dota and League and Valo, is going to give you really good performance, like 200 FPS plus. So that 100 hertz refresh rate with a FreeSync on top of that, it's going to be silky smooth. And that brings us to our final card. So you've got the upgrade kit, which is going to cost you like a whole 4.5 grand for that amount of PC. Is kind of nuts. The 7600 for 6K is just disgusting. $900 for a case, 2,200 for that monitor. So this is including the monitor at 16, just over 16K, with a nice power supply and the SSD. All of that for 16,000 rand, and you can be able to do 1080p gaming like really well. This will play absolutely anything with max settings at 60 FPS. Maybe not ray tracing included, because the RX 7600 is not as good as ray tracing as the Nvidia card. So if you want ray tracing, spend the extra 1,000 rand, rather get a 4060, and then you'll get DLSS 3 and frame generation and such. But yeah, if it's just raw, like kind of brute force gaming performance, this is like the mini Dodge Hellcat. It's like a Dodge V8. It's just all reliable, and it will play anything pretty much maxed out. I have it actually on the test bench setup. So on the entry level, like the mid-range test bench for like good mid-range gaming like this, that's exactly what I've got set up with the 5700G, which is almost exactly the same as the 5500. And yeah, I've used it extensively, and it plays games. Oh, that thing, it plays like any older game, like any is, like I say, the esports titles, even COD and that sort of stuff, like Warzone is going to be quite conquerable by the system. You might run into a couple actually CPU bottlenecks more than GPU. Upgrading from there, look at a 12400F maybe. That would probably be the next jump up for you. And then after that, you're going to look at like 7000 series AMD and probably, honestly, 14th gen Intel. Those upgrade kits right now are smashing on the Evetech store, but we'll bring out a build at 25,000-ish for that next week. Until then, I hope you guys stay safe, keep well. If you've enjoyed this, please do us up with a like and subscribe. If you've got any comments or you need to get any of the information about these parts, just let me know down below. Until then, hope you guys stay safe, keep well, and I'll see you on the flip side.